So the first thing you're going to do is unravel your yarn that came in the box, because you want this to be loose and available for you to use. So we're just going to unravel it gently and keep it over to the left hand side. Now we're going to work around this hoop from about halfway down all the way around to the opposite side at the same height, roughly. But once we've crocheted around the outside, we can actually slide it around and adjust it. So you may wish that you want to do like a sort of jaunty angled one rather than have the wreath showing up at the bottom of the hoop. You could have it down one side or 3/4 of the way down and only a little way up the left hand side. So it's completely up to you. So to crochet, we're going to be using our fingers. We're going to be using our finger and thumb to make the stitches. So you're going to take, to begin with, the yarn, and we're just going to sort of fold it just so it's got a little tail like that. It's about the height of my hand, the folded section. I'm going to pop that underneath the hoop, and from the back I'm going to take my finger and thumb, which are going to act like a crochet hook. I'm going to pop them just inside that loop. This very first bit is quite fiddly, so just have patience with yourself. You'll get there, but it might take a couple of goes just to get started. Okay, so to begin with, what we're going to do is literally just pick up the yarn on the other side. We're going to actually take the little tail with us as well. I'm going to pick up the yarn on the other side and we're going to pull it up through to make a loop. Now we've still got a little bit of tail there, but that's going to get hidden in the next stitch. Okay, so we've got our first loop. Now our fingers are going to go back into that loop around the top there. Okay, now that's kind of created a bit of a slip knot around the hoop, but what we're now going to do is we're going to do a crochet stitch. So we're going to bring the yarn up inside the hoop and wrap it over the top of the end of our finger and thumb. So it's going over the top like that. Okay, make sure your fingers are all the way through, and keeping a firm grip on the yarn, you're now going to pull it back out to the outer edge of the hoop and up, ready for this finger and thumb to grab it and pull it through both the loops. Okay, so it's going back through both the loops, and you can let go of the loops and just pull that through to create another loop at the top. So we'll do that again. So our fingers are going to start in the loop. If the loop comes up and your fingers come out, it's okay because it won't disappear. You can just pop your fingers back in from the right hand side, pointing to the left. To create the next stitch, we're taking our yarn into the hoop, over the top of our finger and thumb, wrapping it over. Wiggle your fingers through. Now grabbing that yarn nice and firmly, bringing it up to the outer edge, ready for our finger and thumb to grab it, grab hold of it, and then you can use your other hand to just help it through. So you're going to just pull that yarn up through and drop those two loops off your fingers, and we're left again with another loop. And as you can see, we're starting to get the nice knitted effect here of the stitches appearing on the front face of the hoop. So we're going to carry on. So fingers go in through the loop, your yarn goes up underneath into the center of the hoop, and then over the top of your finger and thumb. Excuse me. And then it's coming back to the outer edge, up, so that you can grab hold of it, and then use your other hand to just help those stitches off and pull a loop up through. Now your loops need to probably be about 2 inches high, kind of the height of your little finger. I know everyone's fingers are different, but roughly, doesn't have to be exact, but that means that if you keep your loops the same height, you will end up with nice even stitches around your wreath. So let's continue. So up through the middle, over your fingers, pull it back under and out to the edge, ready to collect with your right hand. And those fingers are going to collect, and we'll just use the other hand to pull those stitches off, and up comes our next stitch. We're going to tidy this all up in a moment and have everything facing the right way. I think we'll probably manage another 2. So we're going up inside, over the top of your fingers, over the front, so you start going over your thumb, then back out to the outside, grab the yarn, pull that loop through, and then your finger and thumb go straight in, ready for the next stitch. Let's make this our last one. So we're going up into the inside, over the finger and thumb, back out to the outside, up, collect the yarn, and pull up your last loop. So now, as you can see, we've done halfway round. Okay, so now then, now that we've come to the end, I'm just going to pull these stitches back round towards me, because what will happen is you'll notice you'll get, I'll just tuck that little bit of tail in there a second. So there we go, you'll start to see this nice effect on the front that's kind of hidden until you twist it back round. So you can see where the yarn is wrapped around the hoop, and then you've got these nice sort of V-shaped stitches appearing on the front. So to close off this end, you're going to put your fingers through the hoop, pick up the tail that's left, grab it and just pull it through all the way, like that. So you finish on a nice stitch like that. And then this part here is going to go into the back, so you're going to essentially chop your yarn. Grab my scissors. So you're going to chop it, just give it a few inches at the back there, and then you're just going to feed it underneath a couple of these loops so it's nice and tidy. I have to fiddle around to find the gap. And there we go, so that's the back. We'll turn it round and make sure we've got everything as we want it. And don't forget that this is all going to get covered with all your flowers and everything now. So as I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to, you can actually shift this around, so you can just slide it around the hoop to create like a jaunty angle, or yeah, just basically to position it exactly where you'd like it. So that's how our crochet part of the kit is done, and then we're going to move on in the next videos, and I'm going to show you examples of how to make each of the different flowers and some of the leaves too. But ultimately, the way you style your wreath is totally up to you. You don't have to follow the way the kit has been displayed. You can swap and change the colours of felt to make different coloured flowers in different styles, and use the tie, the pink tie that's displayed on here as a sort of a little bow. You could use that differently. It's entirely up to you. So I will see you in the next videos.